Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole, Russo. Our DRF race of the day for Wednesday, August the 30th also doubles as our Spa Baby race. It's the 9th at Saratoga. Let's throw up the field for the P.G. Johnson Stakes. Juvenile fillies going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. Please scan or click the QR code for race of the day access on mobile, which includes free formulator pass performances. A field of 10 entered on turf. The 11 Ms. Sense is main track only, and the 2 Gala Brand is the 7-2 morning line favorite, stretching out in distance off a very impressive sprint debut.
Yeah, and there's a few in here who are coming off impressive sprint efforts, and also a handful that have, gone a mile or a mile and a 16th already on turf. So I think that makes for an interesting handicapping mix here in the PG Johnson, which kicks off a run of stakes for 2-year-olds into these final days of the Saratoga meet.
Got to figure some of these sprinters are going to be forwardly placed. Timeform US has the 9 Take Me to the Beach on the lead on their Timeform US pace projector. You'll note the red bar indicating a fast pace. Magic Cross is stretching out and switching surfaces. The 4 Violento comes down from Woodbine. That one is a maiden. If the pace is hot, keep an eye on the 7 Brock Nardini as the LP flag, fastest Timeform US late pace rating, and a very visually impressive rallier in her debut.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk a bit more about that debut, which we had discussed earlier this summer on Spa Babies. I find it interesting when you look at the pace projector that we have pace both from the inside post toward the outside and in the middle. I think this is really going to develop into a rider's race in that run into the first turn.
Let's start with one of 2 Bill Mott trained entrants. Down on the inside is the 1 Magic Cross, a daughter of Good Magic, trying the turf for the first time. There's plenty of turf on the bottom of this pedigree, Nicole. The dam liked it, and the dam's half-sister Mose won the Hawthorne Derby.
Yeah, she's moving to turf and stretching out after running respectively in the Adirondack. And certainly both her sire and dam have the 2-turn ability to help her stretch out. There's plenty of turf on the bottom side of the page to help out Good Magic, who does come from that very versatile Smart Strike sire line, but he's mostly been a dirt sire so far. He hasn't had as many turf opportunities, though. I think he could prove to be a very versatile sire given the time and opportunity.
Let's take a look at Gala Brand, her uncoupled stablemate's career debut. This is impressive, going 5.5 furlongs. Yes, she got a fast pace to attack, but she's last on the rail turning into the stretch, and you see the flashy chestnut with the big white stockings get through on the outside, and she fires late.
Yeah, just absolutely stormed home in that debut with a very good 71 buyer. And I like the blend of speed and stamina that she's got in her pedigree. You see some turf route ability on the bottom side of the page there. And I think that helps back up Violence a little bit, who he's a versatile young stallion, but the majority of his top level winners thus far have run 1 turn, with Forte being the exception. But a very good 2-year-old sire, a versatile enough sire, and that German-born dam on the bottom from a family of good route horses.
She won a restricted maiden special weight. That was one of those maiden auction races in her debut. I agree with Nicole. This is a nice combination of speed over stamina in the pedigree. The 3 is Madame Mischief. She's a 3rd-time starter. She's already won around 2 turns. This is her first race with blinkers at Monmouth back earlier in the month, and she's had a beautiful pocket trip. She gets to the outside, and she shows a lot of grit and determination to run down the leader.
Yeah, and she's one of that handful in here, as we mentioned, who have gone a mile or longer on the turf already. And she's by Super Sire Into Mischief. He just does everything, but certainly outstanding with his 2-year-olds and very good with his turf horses. And her dam is a very talented turf runner of recent years in Divisadero.
Ricardo Santana Jr. takes the mount for Jorge Delgado. The 4 is Violento. This is a daughter of Mr. Speaker, a $10,000 yearling. It looks like, though, she's been privately purchased since her most recent start. The dam won 4 turf routes. There's plenty of turf pedigree, and she faced a pretty good field last time out over good going at Woodbine, a couple of next out winners.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that, her connections sought her out picked her up. She's debuting for Chris Englehart, gets Joel Rosario aboard, though that kind of makes me sit up and take notice. A lot of routability, as you said, from her dam, and her sire, Mr. Speaker, a grade one winning turf router, and a beautifully bred one at that.
Trainer Adam Rice has sent out live horses to Saratoga over the last few years. Here's the 5 Dancing Spirits turf and route debut in the second lifetime start. I like this effort from Dancing Spirit. It was a solid pace. She was chasing it 3 wide. She made the lead turning into the stretch, and she holds sway.
Yeah, and before that, she came out of a key maiden race, sprinting on the synthetic at Presque Isle, beat a couple of next out winners, and then really moved up, especially in terms of her buyer figure, a 51 to a 70 when going this mile and a 16th on the turf at Saratoga.
She's a Pennsylvania bred by Social Inclusion. The dam was very hardy. She won 14 races, over $259,000. Jose Ortiz takes the mount. The 6 is Sinane for trainer Tom Morley, debut winner at Belmont, $250,000 yearling by hot first crop sire Omaha Beach. This one was in tough last time out at Royal Ascot. I think she's going to find the waters a little bit easier here, but she's going to have to stretch out.
Absolutely. And, I'm not worried about her stretching out. She's from the first crop of Omaha Beach, who is already proving versatile in the mold of his sire Warfront. He's got stakes performers already on both turf and dirt. He was a grade one winner on dirt, both sprinting and routing. Her dam, a winning turf router. It's the extended family you've noted there of the stakes performer Cat's Claw. I also believe it's the extended family of the turf superstar Point of Entry and some others. And, a good debut, beat a next out winner. And I'm always kind of willing to draw a line through, a Royal Ascot also ran performance for a 2-year-old.
Trainer George Weaver's had a phenomenal spring and summer of 2023, especially with his younger stock in the 7 Brock Nardini. Looked good in her career debut, going 2 turns at Saratoga against New York bred. She got a fast pace. She sat on the outside, made a strong bid into the stretch, and she's a little bit green, but once she strikes the front, she's on her way.
Yeah, and she really impressed me that day. She beat some next out winners with a 72 buyer. And, she was interesting that day because I thought certainly she was built to route, being from that phenomenal Phipps family of My Flag, Personal Ensign, and others. But I mean, she sure ran on the turf in her debut against, as we said, a quality field.
Irad Ortiz back aboard the 7, Brock Nardini. The 8 is She Feels Pretty, a debut winner for the excellent Cherie DeVoe barn. She is by Caraconti, a Breeders' Cup winner on the grass, $240,000 yearling, and just plenty of turf and class in this pedigree. I wouldn't sleep on this one, Nicole. We've talked about how those Ellis Park maiden races have a lot of quality, and this filly is bred to stretch out to this distance.
Definitely bred to stretch out. And when I look at her, I definitely see precocity and turf ability. Caraconti, as you mentioned, the Breeders' Cup mile winner, and he's been a very good 2-year-old in turf sire. Put that over a more than ready mare from a pretty good family. And Cherie DeVoe is having an awesome season, and this would be a great way to start to wrap up the Saratoga meet for that barn.
Tyler Gaffalione aboard the 8, She Feels Pretty. The 9 is Take Me to the Beach. This is a daughter of Take Charge Indy, going out for trainer Matthew Kintz. Debut winner at Presque Isle Downs. Most notable about that race is that she beat Dancing Spirit, who came up here to win at Saratoga in a video we showed you earlier. This filly seems to have a good amount of speed.
Yeah, some speed drawn toward the outside. So again, I think the rider choices running into the first turn on the inner turf here are going to be very interesting. You mentioned that she beat Dancing Spirit, beat another next out winner there as well. And, kind of some sneaky good 2-year-olds have emerged from Presque Isle over the years. And as she stretches out, you see an English Classic winner in Arctic Cosmos there in her immediate family.
With the 11, Ms. Sense on the main track only list. Hard to Justify completes the field. Let's watch this nice debut. Why the Justifies have been good early. A very precocious stallion the Triple Crown winner has been. And watch Hard to Justify. She had to overcome a little adversity. She comes widest into the stretch of her 2-turn debut for Chad Brown. She still has a long way to come, and she's going to grind it out. What a nice performance.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice professional debut after encountering some adversity early, as you said. What a good year Justify is having, especially with his 2-year-olds. He's got prominent stakes performers in both Europe and Australia among his juveniles in those respective countries this season. And right here in the US, his 2-year-old debut winners include Just FYI on the Traverse undercard on Saturday.
And if Ms. Sense gets in, it's a $500,000 yearling. A debut winner on an off-turf race for Todd Pletcher would be very, very tough. Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for our Wednesday Spa Baby and DRF race of the day. It's the PG Johnson Stakes. Nicole, you're going with Brock Nardini. I don't blame you. It was a very impressive debut from off the pace, and this barn's going great right now.
This barn is going great right now, George Weaver, especially with his 2-year-olds, Brock Nardini being one of those at this meet alone. A really impressive visually and figure-wise debut for Brock Nardini going on this course in distance. I think she'll get some pace to run into again here, as we talked about, kind of pace all around her in the gate there. And, beat, I think, some quality horses in that race. We've already seen at least one of them come back to win.
I'm going to go with the 2 Galabrand, although I am a little bit concerned about her stretching out in distance. Sometimes those eye-catching late rally sprinting don't necessarily translate to 2 turns, but you showed a lot of professionalism in that race. I'll trust Bill Mott. I also like the way Dancing Spirit won. I think she has a little bit more tactical ability. 7-2-10-6 for Nicole, 2-5-7-8 for me. Nice race. The PG Johnson on Wednesday. Good luck.